Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome to tonight's version of your lighting critique. So we've got a handful of images, not a super large amount tonight. So I just kind of want to go through each one individually because you guys are getting really good, and this is getting fun. Okay, so I want to start with Ubaid. Ubaid, I haven't heard from you in a while. It's great to have you back. This is lit in Unreal, and so my first thing with this is I just want it to be exposed up a little bit. There are two main things that I noticed right out of the gate. Number one is like these darker, lost my cursor, these darker shadows in here. See them down in here? These sharp, not darker, but sharper shadows. I would expect them to be a little bit softer. Or maybe they're like weird parts. No, I think they're shadows. So I would just expect them to be a little bit softer, the light coming through. I love the volumetric ray, but the big thing that I noticed right out of the gate was just like, I want there to just be overall more exposure to this. So one of the things that I know that Unreal has really been pushing is this idea of like exposure changes. So, I mean, I only know this from the demos. I haven't actually done it. It's probably incredibly difficult, but like the idea of like when the character walks into this light, all of a sudden the light outside gets exposed because their eye can get exposed out there. But if they're standing back here, back in the shadows, I would expect this to be a little bit brighter because the overall exposure will go up because now we're exposed for the shadows and seeing some of that in here. Additionally, from there, let's see, let's close that. I think we can get a little bit more. Yeah, and like a little more in the super darks, still kind of keep the brighter exposure. So like something like that. And then it's interesting because like I don't know, it depends on what your focus is in this scene. Like if this is just light spilling in here and it's no big deal, then I think this is fine. But I'm curious if there's a desire at all to really. Basically, it's like, do I want to keep the character here, or do I want to move the character through to this room? So if I want to keep, if I want the audience to stay in here, I want the character to stay in here, I would, and this is just mocking up, I would darken that room a little bit and to keep us really kind of focused into this area, something like that, so that we would stay right in here. Versus if we really wanted to hype up that area back there. Then we could do the opposite. So like I would make it brighter back there. Really kind of draw the eye back into that room too. So it's basically just like I think you should go one way or the other with it, and either really push us back in there or keep us where we are. But overall, I think this is looking really cool. I think you've got a really nice handle on this tool and making some cool images. I would also like to see like this part of the ceiling over here get a little bit darker. I think because I'm just thinking about the light coming in and bouncing up here, and like it would really be bright up in there, and then just like a little more variation on the ceiling. And in this shape, I'm not quite sure what this thing is, and it might just be this angle at this moment. But like this rock wall is very blue. It almost feels like a weird iceberg. So I would just, if it's the wall, I would take out a lot of the blue and just leave it like that. Okay, so now we got Dani's. Dani, you left me in suspense, man. Like you said there was going to be one of two, and maybe I missed it, but I only saw one in there. So please let me know if I missed one of them. Biggest thing, like it's nice that you're getting this underlight in there. I like that you're starting to get these colors in the edges. This subsurface on the ear is looking nice. The bounce light. The thing you want to do with this is you want to soften it, so because you don't want these like super duper soft shadow or hard shadows, and more so you don't want it. Right now, it's really, really, really lifting the values of the chest and of the feet, and actually really flattening it out. In here, like you can see up his whatever torso of his body is really starting to flattening out in there. And what I would really like to see is for this to get darker, more shaping, and then more of an emphasis I'm using the specularity of this value and less on the diffuse. So right now it's like just very brown, but it also looks very matte. Like it looks very, like I don't see a lot of specularity in there. So I would take down the diffuse value, increase the specularity, and to create shaping this way. Check the previous one. I think Clever did it really well, and there were a couple other iterations of this with like really nice specular highlights, like really like Calabaza Muele had one too. We're just like really getting into the details here, but just like picking it up in the specular. So we want the overall value to be down, but like a sheen, like a leathery dark sheen on it, like that. I think would be wonders. But and on top of that, it's starting to come into place. I just want to see this with the background in there because it's hard to tell just over black. But I think this is coming together well. Hisham, so we've got these two here. Really cool stuff. The one thing about this one is it looks a little bit like the chair looks translucent to me, and it's almost like I want to just slightly tone down this that bright hit, like just because it's almost like it feels like a gummy, like it feels like it's shining through there. But other than that, I think this one's coming together really well, and maybe darkening the wall over here down just a little bit more. Because it almost feels like there's an artificial spotlight shining back onto this space. And I know it's probably just bounce light, but I just want to get that a little bit darker to really kind of zero in on the center of the room. And then for the night version, I love the shaping that you're getting here on these rocks. I love a little bit here. I think we might be able to push and I'm not looking at the spot here because I think I just want to push more of that warm light around the space a little bit. Like, do you see? And I guess when I'm lifting it, you see some of the the blue values come up too. But I maybe keep the moonlight where it is. But like, just watch the warm color. Like as this comes up, you can see more shaping get pushed into the room, and I just want to do that a little bit too. Yeah, that's not great. But I just want to make this a little larger and pushing it out, just maybe not larger, just push it out a little bit more. So the fall off happens a little less quickly, so it picks up a little more. But other than that, again, this one's looking really well. Tyler. Yeah, so Tyler, the amount of progress you made on this in a very short period of time is really quite impressive. I love you talked about the added texture on the picture over here. Really nice. I think that's looking great. So yeah, this wall, you were talking about having it be like blown out, because again, this is as an artist or as the photographer or cinematographer on a shot like this, you're going to have to decide whether, do I expose for the sunlight or do I expose for the shadows? And in this case, we expose for the shadows, which will blow out some of those areas. I'm wondering if I'm thinking about the wall and the ground both being blown out. Maybe it's just a matter of getting the road to be darker a little bit. Let's just try that real quick. Bear with me, and you guys can fast forward this part because this may just take just a second to draw this out. I wonder if just compositionally it would do better to overall darken this ground to kind of level us out a little bit, and then we can let the walls get brighter. This is not going to look great because it's a JPEG with the exposure blown out. Let's see. Maybe. Yeah. Ooh, that's not what we want to do. Yeah, I think you should darken the ground a little bit. Make it more of like a richer, like this is a terrible mock-up. Don't pay attention to this, but like I'm just looking at it like compositionally that maybe just like a little bit less blowout in the ground than what we're seeing here, which is just kind of like all of this is like universally blown out. And that way it'll help help ground us a little bit. The one thing too, I would just go ahead and turn off the lights that are causing this. I think you don't need any interior lights at all. I think you're doing so much heavy lifting with the sunlight that I think that's working quite well. Yeah, that would be my big notes for now. And then from there, it's just a matter of trying to get some more specularity. I know I talk about this all the time, but like just trying to get some more specularity into like this and the roof here and the door. Just do what you can to really, because like it'll just really help create some shaping. Maybe in the wall here. Oh, and then the other thing that I recommend to people on this shot is just to take this wall and just darken it down a little bit. Ooh. It just kind of helps create more of a layering effect, and it just, let's see, you know, it just creates like a separation between these three. Like it creates like a surface here, and a surface here, and it allows more depth in the shot if you can. So, but other than that, you guys are doing a great job. Continue lighting. If I missed anyone, I apologize. Please scream at me in the chat window or in the forum, and I'll be happy to take a look at it tomorrow. All right, enjoy your evening and happy lighting, everybody.